Hello everyone, my name is Jason and I am an ISFP. So every once in a while I am listening to a song and something about the song will really strike me as it relates to personality type. And I've done a couple videos before that were effectively like the types in song. And the idea behind this is that a song may make me think of a particular type or a particular cognitive function. There are times when I'm listening to a song and I'm just thinking, man, the writer of this song, at least when he or she was writing this song, was really basing their thoughts at that moment heavily on this particular cognitive function. Or, I might think, I really think based on this song, if this song is a representation of the person who is a faithful, consistent representation of the person who wrote it, then I really think this person may be this type. So the song that I have been listening to lately is a song called Roots by someone named Alice Merton. And my INFP wife turned me onto this song. She introduces lots of new music to me, music I've never heard before and would never hear if it weren't for her. She is always gathering new music. Music is oftentimes filled with new ideas. She's always gathering new ideas or often gathering new ideas, and she does so a lot of times in the form of music. And then she plays this music, and I hear it, and some of it I like, and some of it I don't. But this particular song, Roots, has been at the top of my playlist lately. I've been listening to it over and over and over again. And as I was listening to it, I really thought, man, this song encapsulates the extroverted intuition and introverted sensing axis. So this, my interpretation of this song or my thoughts on this song really apply heavily to the ENFP or the INFP. They would apply to anyone who who favors their extroverted intuition over introverted sensing. And there are some verses in there that could be applied to extroverted sensing as opposed to extroverted intuition, but I think the overall tenor of the song says the NE SI axis, especially as it pertains to the ENFP or the INFP. So I'm going to just kind of go over some of the lyrics. I may not hit every single lyric, but I'm going to go over some of the lyrics and give you my thoughts on why I see the ENFP or INFP fitting this song. So the first verse of the song says, "I like digging holes and hiding things inside them. When I grow old, I hope I won't forget to find them." Now, this to me, you could interpret this as someone who literally goes out, digs a physical hole in the physical ground, and then places things down inside of it. But that's not how I'm hearing it, especially in the context of the whole song. I'm thinking of it like, imagine someone with high extroverted intuition grabbing at possibilities and ideas and concepts and saying, oh man, I love this. I love this idea. Here's a great idea, but I don't have anything to do with it at this moment. So I'm going to put it over here in a nice safe place, digging a hole. I'm going to dig a hole, place it down inside there, because someday I think this idea is going to have some use to me. Someday I think that I'm going to see a world of possibilities that could be born out of this concept, right? So I'm going to put it in this hole. And as I grow older, I hope that I will have the opportunity to use it. And I hope that I won't forget to find it. And then she says, because I've got memories. Okay, that's very SI, right? Like I've got these memories. I've organized all of my experiences. I've got my memories and travel like gypsies in the night. This line, travel like gypsies in the night, to me is such an extroverted intuition line. The ENFP and the INFP especially, I could totally envision being the kind of person, if they were allowed to, if they could live their ideal life, let's say if money weren't an issue, I could totally see the ENFP or the INFP being perfectly content and in fact thriving in a situation where they get to move, they get to go from new possibility to new possibility. Extroverted sensing may want to travel in the same way, may want to be on the move at all times because they want to see the next physical experience that's over the next horizon. But extroverted intuition is always looking for the next possibility that may be just over the horizon. So this songwriter says that she travels like gypsies in the night. And then she goes on to say, I build a home and wait for someone to tear it down, then pack it up in boxes and head for the next town. I think she says the next town running. So imagine that you build a home, right? And then you just wait for something to come along, someone to come along that's going to tear it down so that and you're prepared when that happens. I know it's going to happen. And when it happens, I'll pack it up in a box and I'll move for the next town. Or we could interpret town as the next possibility. I see this kind of being like, because she says, I build a house and wait for someone to tear it down. I think this is almost a slightly more INFP statement than ENFP statement, because the INFP is going to see other human beings more often than ENFPs will as sort of a threat, as sort of a possible means or a possible location of attack. So I build this thing up, but I'm just prepared that someone's going to come along and tear it down. And so I'm prepared at all times that this thing that I've established will be torn apart in the song by a person. Although I think an ENFP might be looking at like circumstances will undoubtedly lead to where this thing that I've established gets torn apart. That's okay. It's no big deal. I can handle that kind of chaos. I'm prepared for it. I'll just pack it up in a box and I'll head for the next possibility. There's another exciting possibility just over the horizon. So when the one that I've established here gets torn apart by whatever means, I'll just pack it in a box and I'll head for the next town or the next possibility, the next new idea. And then she says, and 1,000 times I've seen this road, 1,000 times. Now, this is where I think we can separate extroverted intuition from extroverted sensing. An extroverted sensing dominant person might say, yeah, I established something here and it gets destroyed and that's okay. I'm ready to go have the next new experience. But extroverted sensing is very focused on the details. It's not looking for the pattern that causes this experience to be the same as this experience and also the same as this experience, to where an extroverted sensing person could experience three different things and they're going to see them as three different things. Because, well, I went to LA and LA was like this and it had this detail and that detail and that detail. And this is why LA was unique and different and unique and different. But then I went to New York City and New York City was unique and different because of this and this and this and this. And then I went to Dallas and Dallas was unique and different because of this, 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 this. Extroverted intuition is going to say, well, LA is a big city and it has these things about it that are the same as New York, which is also a big city and has these things about it, which is the same as Dallas because it's a big city and it has these things about it. So when she says 1,000 times I've seen this road, 1,000 times, extroverted sensing would be like, I've never been down this road before. This is a whole new road, right? My whatever it was that I established, my home that I established here got torn apart. I packed it up in a box and now I'm traveling down this new road that I've never been down before, right? Those are different trees and those are different buildings and these are different experiences and I'm seeing new sights and I'm hearing new sounds. There's a bird that I just saw that I've never seen before because they didn't exist where I was before. Extroverted intuition says, I've been down this road 1,000 times. Now, maybe the person is going down a road they've literally physically never been before, but extroverted intuition sees the pattern. What is the pattern? The pattern is, in this song, I move into this place, I sort of get established, someone comes along, rips it all down, it's okay, I'm prepared, I put it in a box, and I head on to the next town, and I'm going down a new road physically, but it's the same old road because I'm just doing the same thing that I've done before, but I keep doing it and I'm okay with doing it because I'm constantly under the impression that over the horizon will be the next new possibility that will, be all that and a bag of chips. And then she says, the name of the song, Roots, she says, I've got no roots for my home was never on the ground. And she repeats that, I've got no roots for my home was never on the ground. Extroverted sensing might say, I've got no roots because I love to move around and experience new things, but it would never say my home was never on the ground. Extroverted sensing has its feet firmly planted on the ground. Extroverted intuition oftentimes has its feet firmly planted in midair. Extroverted intuition is in the realm of possibility, of the theoretical, of the concept, of the pattern, of the idea. It's not firmly planted on the ground. An extroverted intuition dominant person may very likely, yes, you will find exceptions, but very likely an extroverted intuition dominant person is not going to want to put down roots. Because when you put down roots, you then are planted and you are cutting off the exploration of new possibilities. Extroverted intuition is saying, I don't want to put down roots because I want to be free to go experience and explore and seek out the new possibilities. Extroverted intuition is happy to travel like gypsies in the night because it never knows what new, grand, amazing possibility may be over the next horizon. If it puts down roots, it'll never travel to the next horizon. After the first chorus of I've Got No Roots, she says, I like standing still, but that's just a wishful plan. You ask me where I come from, I'll say a different land. 'Cause I've got memories and travel like gypsies in the night. I like standing still. She's probably not lying. In other words, I like getting established in one place. I like getting used to a certain environment. I like maybe allowing my roots to grow just a little bit. I like standing still, but that's just a wishful plan. You ask me where I come from, I'll say a different land. Now, this line here really hit me, where she says, you ask me where I come from, I'll say a different land. I think people who have a very high extroverted intuition oftentimes probably feel like they come from a different land. I think we live in a society, especially in the United States. I don't want to speak for places I haven't lived. But I think we live in a society that is very ST focused above all else. Think and make things work. And then SF, value things. Okay, we need to value the physical world, right? We're a very SF society. That's why commercials sell products so well. That's why these companies spend millions of dollars on the commercials, because they know that their advertising works because you value things in the physical world. And then I think next we value the NTs. I think many people don't understand the NTs, but they can see what the NTs have to contribute. When the NTs bring their thoughts into fruition, we go to space. We have electric cars. When I say we, I mean we as a species do amazing things when the NTs bring their thoughts into manifest. Okay, but I think the NFs, and especially the NFs that lead with extroverted intuition, more so than the NFs that lead with introverted intuition. I think the NFs, the extroverted intuition NFs, are not valued in our society to the degree that the NTs and especially the SFs and STs are. And therefore, I think someone with high extroverted intuition could feel like they come from a different land. And by a different land, I mean not Earth. Like if you ask them, where are you from? I think that sometimes they probably feel like they're not from around here. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm from Mars or something. I don't know. And I'm not picking on extroverted intuitives and saying you with high extroverted intuition act like or you should be treated like you're from another planet. I'm afraid that sometimes our society treats high extroverted intuition people in such a way that they probably feel like they're from another planet. And that's unfortunate because extroverted intuition has a lot to offer. And those who use it well, those who wield the weapon of extroverted intuition with skill and tact are able to give to the world great things. But when she says, you ask me where I come, when she says, I like standing still, but that's just a wishful plan. She's a mover. She's always on the lookout for the next possibility. You ask me where I come from, I'll say a different land. I'm not from any of these places that you know. I'm not from anything that you're familiar with. I'm completely other. Now, keep in mind, if you have a high extroverted intuition, you are not completely other, because there are countless people who have high extroverted intuition also. So don't feel like you're some sort of weirdo if you do feel that way, or if you're being made to feel that way because you're living in a home or a environment that's dominated by people who are STs or SFs or even NTs. She says elsewhere in the song something to the effect of, there's a little bit of a verse that I can't remember, and then she says, it's just the place that changes, the rest is still the same. Again, the extroverted intuition that sees the pattern is saying, here's this pattern where she moves into a place, she sort of gets established a little bit, someone comes along, tears it down, that's okay, she's prepared for that, she packs it up in a box, she heads to the next town, right? She's going down the same road she's been down 1,000 times, even though technically it's a road she's never been down before in the physical world, but she sees the pattern of it being the same thing. I'm on the lookout, I'm heading over the next horizon to see the next new possibility. I've been down this same road concept before, but maybe this horizon holds a possibility that I couldn't even dream of or imagine. And when she gets there, it's just the place that changes. The rest is still the same. So, okay, now I'm in a place called Detroit, but it's all the same. And yet she keeps on doing it. She sees the pattern that she's doing this over and over and over, and yet she keeps on doing it. Why? Because extroverted intuition is, to an extent, it's addicted to seeking out the next new exciting possibility, because you don't know what that next new exciting possibility is. You don't know what kind of amazing things you could discover over the next horizon. Here's my take on those with high extroverted intuition, the good and the bad. The good is, we need people in this world who are constantly seeking out new possibilities and ideas. Because if without that, we as humanity would stagnate. We would get set in our ways, unable to see where we are wrong and how we can improve. We would never have the benefit of the introduction of new concepts, ideas, philosophies, beliefs that help to move us forward as a people and move us out of the stagnant practices that have become bad or are destroying us. On the flip side of that, for those of you who have high extroverted intuition and you're constantly seeking out the new possibility, be careful, because there's a line in the Eagles song, Desperado, where he says, "It seems to me some fine things have been laid upon your table, but you only want the ones that you can't get." If you're not careful, and this can be true for extroverted sensing as well, that's always seeking out new experiences, right? Extroverted intuition is always seeking new possibilities, concepts, ideas. Extroverted sensing is always seeking out new experiences, okay? If you're not careful, your addiction to seeking out new will cause you to devalue, even disdain, and miss out on the benefits of what is right in front of you. Sometimes you can literally, step over the amazing thing that's right there in front of you in your attempt to go find something new and grand. It's that whole, the grass is always greener on the other side, except that sometimes it isn't. But it's not bad that extroverted intuition always wants new ideas, new possibilities. And it's not bad that extroverted sensing always wants new experiences. But it's just a cautionary tale that you don't allow the addiction to the new to completely cause you to be blind to the benefits of the existing. This song, to me, it's so amazing to hear someone say, in my mind, what so well encapsulates the NESI axis. The SI aspect of this is the memories. It's the, I've been down this before. I've organized the physical. I understand what's going on here. But the NE side of things, the extroverted intuition, is so enamored with or in need of new possibilities that even though she sees the pattern really of her own life, right? I mean, she is proclaiming the pattern of her own life. I'd like to say that I enjoy standing still, but truthfully, that's just wishful thinking. The truth is, I move into an area, I might build a house, but I'm already pre-prepared for someone to come along and tear it down. And I'm okay with that because that gives me a beautiful excuse to pack up and head over the horizon to find the next new possibility. It's an amazing song. I love this song, actually. I think I could listen to it 50 times in a row and still not be tired of it, honestly. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. Again, it's called Roots. It's by someone named Alice Merton. I believe it's spelled Merton. And no big surprise, my INFP wife turned it on to me because I think it very much represents her. She would travel like a gypsy in the night, no doubt. If we could make it happen, she would live in like a van, you know, or whatever, like in a RV or something like that, and there's some cool aspects to that. There's some freedom in that. There's some beauty in being able to live like that if you can. But you know, I think a lot of people, especially like IJ types, are those who have a higher introverted sensing or introverted intuition than their extroverted sensing or extroverted intuition. I think those people would be like, no, whoa, let's back up. I just want to have my nice established place where I'm comfortable and I know exactly what's going to happen and exactly what's going to go on. But people with high extroverted intuition or high extroverted sensing don't necessarily have that feeling. They're like, yeah, let's be on the go. I want to experience the new. Let's head out. Let's go do things. Let's go find whatever is over the next horizon, be it experiences or possibilities. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are an INFP or an ENFP, would you please leave me a comment and let me know if you think that this song, the lyrics, and my interpretation of them resonate with you. Do please click the like button if you found this video to be information, entertaining, or useful. And do please subscribe if you have not already. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day. Bye now.